Alright everyone, the arena in Raid Shadow Legends is not quite what it used to be. In the last few months it has gotten a lot more difficult to climb, especially through the lower tiers, and that's why today I wanted to share with you guys some tips and some info that'll hopefully help you out with that. Now I wanted to also show you guys this screenshot here because it absolutely blew my mind, and especially to those of you guys who are older players who haven't had to climb through the arena in a little while, you guys might have your mind blown by this as well. And this is a list here of somebody's teams for Silver 2. That is absolute insanity. Look at those teams, look at those champions, that is crazy. And that's actually pretty similar to the list of champions that I see in Gold 4. And I've been in Gold 4 for a while now. So if we head over to the arena here, you guys will see here is my list in Gold 4. Now I also try to do what I can and do my part by putting a level 1 Incubus as my defense. So if you guys end up seeing me in the actual arena listings, you can always just go ahead, kill my Incubus, and hopefully get some free points there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into some of the tips. So first of all, number one here is when you guys are actually climbing through the arena, even though it starts off here at the start of the list, I would actually try to do the opposite if you can and try to start from the bottom of the list. And the reason why is these are going to be the higher rated teams in whatever bracket that you're in. It doesn't matter whether you're in Gold 4, whether you're in Bronze 1, it'll still use the system here. And when you actually face teams that are a higher rating, it's actually a double win, because what it means is, first of all, you end up getting more points for the victory, so that's awesome, right? But second of all, it also is going to mean that you end up getting less points if you lose, right? So it's kind of like a double safety net there. Whereas if you're facing teams right at the start of the list, if you win, you don't get as many points, and if you lose, it's a really, really big hit. So now, generally speaking though, of course, the teams towards the bottom of the list are going to be more difficult, but that's why I want to transition into the second tip right here. This is a really, really big one, and that is utilize this refresh button as absolute most that you possibly can. It has a 15-minute timer, and I would even say, especially to those of you guys who play on an emulator like BlueStacks, or if you guys have a timer on your phone, I would just do this every 15 minutes, because that's the timer right there. And this is going to give you a full list here. You know, even though arenas got more difficult, occasionally you end up coming across teams like this right here, where you've got people like me that are just putting their defenses to 1, or, you know, something's going on to where it's going to be easy to swipe up that win right there. And being able to refresh every 15 minutes is awesome, because the refresh timer for one arena token is 1 hour. So you can refresh essentially 4 times in the time that it takes for you to regenerate 1 token. So, you know, what I'm saying by that is, if you actually do the refreshes every 15 minutes, even if you can only end up finding like 1 team out of the entire list of 10 that you can actually kill, you still should slowly but surely be able to grind up some points. So, and if you can't, don't get discouraged, just keep it going, and occasionally you will find those teams. Now, the next piece of advice that I want to give you guys, let's actually head over to the tiers here. This is a really, really big one that is super easy to make to people who don't really fully understand the D-ranking system. Yes, not the ranking system, but the D-ranking system. And this is something you absolutely want to keep a very close eye on, especially on the last day. And that is because when the arena reset happens, what it's going to do is, not only is it going to end up giving you your rewards, but it is also going to bring you down to the number of points that is the minimum for the bracket that you are in. So, you know, right now I've got 3293 points, and at the arena reset, it's going to bring me down to 2900. So if you were in Gold 3, for example, and you had 2,899 points, right, you are 1 point away from Gold 4. You know, what's going to happen at the arena reset is now you're going to decay and lose 299 points. You're going to fall all the way from 2899 back down to 2600. Whereas if you got, you know, 1 or 2 more points, you would now be safe in Gold 4, and you would only lose those 1 or 2 points at the reset. So try to time your arena points and your score as best as you possibly can, so that when the actual reset does happen, you do not decay and lose away more points than necessary. Now, this is obviously something that you're not going to be able to get perfect, especially considering that people are probably going to be fighting you, and if you lose battles, you're going to lose points. That's why I say just kind of do this as best as you possibly can. Just try to avoid being inefficient and, you know, getting super, super close to the next tier and then just kind of leaving it there and having all those points go to waste. So very, very important. That right there was actually how I was able to greatly speed up my progress in the earlier tiers. For a while, I was only maybe getting like one rank up every week or even every couple of weeks, and I was so discouraged. And then I kind of got this little tip in my head that, hey, maybe I should try to work around my actual decay a little bit better and kind of time my token usage and whatnot, and that helped me climb up much quicker. And speaking of timing your actual token usage, that is another big one as well. Now, of course, you've got your arena tokens, which are going to regenerate once per hour, but you've also got some free arena tokens that you can get each day. Now, the first one, of course, is from your playtime rewards, 180 minutes, that's 3 hours. Try to get this every single day if you can, of course. Even if you're not playing the game actively, just kind of leave it open in the background, leave your phone on, do what you got to do. There's also another one here in your dailies. I believe it comes from the purchase an item in the market, and that one is going to not be a full refresh, but it is going to end up being 5 tokens. Now, the thing is, you don't actually have to claim these immediately. You can wait all the way up until the very end of the daily reset if you want to, and it's not actually going to add the arena tokens directly to your counter. What it's going to do is it's going to send them to your mailbox, and they're going to stay in your mailbox for another 24 hours. Now, it's not a very long time, so you can't do a ton with this, but it definitely helps you plan out and time around the arena reset, and also if there's any possible arena events that might be coming up as well. It gives you a little bit more flexibility. So also something else I would mention is when you do actually pick up the arena bag, which is the full refresh, not the 5 token one from the daily, because your arena tokens reset every hour, I would avoid trying to actually take the bag in your mailbox right when your token is about to refresh. So you see here at 53 minutes, this would be an okay time to claim the token if I had 0 out of 10, of course. But instead of 53 minutes, if it read 3 minutes, well, then essentially you're wasting 1/10 of an arena bag because you're going to regenerate a token in a couple of minutes anyway. So something that I like to do, this is a habit that I have been in forever now playing the game. And yes, I still do occasionally set timers for this depending on how I feel, is because both the arena tokens and the market refresh at the same time. You guys can see they're pretty close here in the timers. I kind of try to do them both or keep them both on the same timer to just make my life a little bit easier as well. So that's definitely an important one. So all right, next up here, let's actually talk about a big one with your defenses. Now, I try to do my part with my level 1 Incubus, but if you guys are trying to climb in the arena, this is absolutely something you do not want to do, because this right here, it's like putting a red cross right over my head, attack this guy, easy points. You do not want that feeling for your team. Obviously, one level 1 champion is the best way to get that feeling from other players, but you want to avoid it any way that you possibly can. And this is really all about trying to get inside your opponent's head, right? Like when I go through the arena and when a lot of people go through, this is usually not an extremely long process for people. They'll usually take a quick glance at your team, see, oh, this is crazy, I'm not fighting this team, and at that point, they'll move on and see somebody else. So, a couple of things that you could do if you have any type of legendary champions at all, even if they are really bad, just to get those legendary borders up a little bit on your defense. Maybe it'll scare people away a little bit. You don't even have to put insanely good gear on those legendaries if you want, but try to spice up your defense so that at least it looks like an intimidating team. Now, another thing as well is the actual power, right? Now, team power is not at all an accurate representation of your team. You could have a team with a ton of team power that is absolute garbage and a team with very low team power that is insanely good. However, a lot of opponents don't really think like this, and they will see your team power, they'll see that it's really, really high and think to themselves, all right, this team, it's not going to be worth the effort to actually fight them, so I'm going to skip it. And at that point, now you don't have somebody that's fighting you, you don't have somebody that's possibly going to kill you, and that's going to prevent you from decaying a lot of your losses, because a big struggle in arena is not only actually climbing through and not losing the matches that you fight, but you also at the exact same time have to fight the decay of losing matches in your actual arena defense as well. So it's a combination of those two things, and if you can improve one, you're going to overall improve the rate and the speed at which you are able to climb in the arena. So, and the very last thing that I want to say is, if you are on the edge about a team and you think to yourself, all right, I don't know how this one's going to go. I might win, I might lose. I'm pretty 50-50 on it. That's going to be a situation that you want to skip. And even if that means that there is absolutely no way that you can use your token, you're at the maximum number of tokens. If your number one goal is to climb up through the tiers, you do not want yourself losing more points than you have to. And now this one can be a little bit tricky to predict based on the number of people that are actually attacking your arena defense, but I would say if you are winning, you know, like every 2 out of 3 matches or so, especially if you are attacking from the bottom of the list going backwards rather than the top going forwards, then you should slowly but surely be able to climb through the arena. Now, the reason why it's not 50-50, like you should be okay if you win one, you should be okay if you lose one, is you have to factor in the decay from your arena defense and losing matches there, and you also have to factor in the decay that you might end up facing by getting really close to the next bracket but not being able to make it and now losing all those points, which is why that was really important, something I wanted to talk about in more detail earlier in the video. I seriously lost a lot of points to that when I first started the game, and I really wish I was able to tackle it a lot better earlier on. So anyway, that's going to be it for the video and the tips today. I hope that you guys enjoyed and were able to make some use of this, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Really do appreciate all the support, everyone. Thank you so much. If you want to help out as well, taking the quick quarter of a second or so to leave a like on the video means a whole bunch as well. So thank you so much to all of you who decide to do that, and more Raid Shadow Legends videos, guides, tutorials, and all that fun stuff should be popping up on the screen right about now or in the suggested videos to right or below. Feel free to check them out, but if not, until next time, take care, everyone. This is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.